Assalamu alaikum everybody. Got brother Mohammed Hijab here. Let's hope people join in and ask away. Let me get onto this thing here. Start reading the live comments. There it is. So I'm gonna read the comments from here. German Joker goes salam. Assalamu alaikum German Joker. Bajao. Let me put the sound down on this. And we got who else? We got German Joker. We got Miss Pulami, salam. Got Mega True Talk, get ready. Got salam, walaikum salam everybody. So yeah, ask away guys the questions. We have my brother Mohammed Hijab here. So ask away the questions, where we have. And take it on from there. At the moment we're just getting salams.
Assalamu alaikum.
So yeah. What's the Aqidah of no Khawarij? Straight away going in hardcore ones. What's the Aqidah of Khawarij by brother Zal Gofri or whatever? You want to start off with that one? Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good one. View on Wahhabism. What's this Wahhabism, akhi?
So which one do you want to shoot?
Up to you. Take it on from there. Khawarij or Wahhabi? Go for the Khawarij one because he asked it first.
Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Khawarij were a sect, a group that emerged in the early days of Islam. In fact, the first Khawarij, who in English are referred to as the Kharijites or something of that nature, were actually at the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself. And of the things that are said of any other Muslim group, it seems like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is most staunch against this particular group. Now, how do we know that the people at the time, or those individuals that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ he basically outlined are the same descendants of what is now called the Khawarij group? Is because he gave us signs. So, for example,
just before you give the example, what I'm going to do is, because we have a time, we're going to be about 45 minutes max. So spend about 1 to 1.5 minutes on each answer.
Alright, so
in a nutshell. Guys, it's going to be a nutshell answer.
Thank you for that, actually. It's good that you The Khawarij are a group that believe that the major sins, take someone out of Islam. So Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the Sunni people, do not believe that major sins take people out of the fold of Islam. There are major sins in Islam. They don't take someone out of the fold of Islam, except for those things which are which necessitate kufr or shirk, which means disbelief or polytheism. So apart from that, nothing else takes someone out of the fold of Islam. The Quran says, "Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha." In chapter 4, verse 48, he says that Allah does not forgive that shirk is done with him, but he forgives anything else to whoever he wants. If someone dies upon the state of disbelief, they cannot be entered into Jannah if they have received the message. But Sunnis believe that if you committed, for example, even those shirk and kufr, you can be admitted to heaven only if you repent. Because in Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a, Allah also says he forgives all deeds. But the ones that you die upon, so if you die having committed shirk and you're in the state of shirk or kufr, then you will never go to heaven if you've received the message. Now this is the Sunni view. The Khawarij view is no, it's the major sins. So if you commit any of the major sins, then obviously you won't, then they believe that it takes you out of the fold of Islam. So for example, if someone commits zina or fornication or premarital sex or any of these things, the Khawarij would believe that would take you out of Islam. Sunnis believe no, this would not take you out of Islam, but would necessitate your fisq, which means your evil doing, but it wouldn't mean that you're a kafir.
Okay guys, we want to try to keep the questions related with Speaker's Corner, the recent events and all that, so it'll be a bit more interesting. So rather than going into
deep things,
thick,
because I feel like with these questions it could go.
It's a loaded question. Because
it's not even. Yeah, it's just quite. It needs an explanation.
Broad, that's what I'm saying. So guys, try to keep the questions with the recent events, Speaker's Corner, Tan, Tommy Robinson, those sort of things. The prayers at
forget that guy.
The prayers. He's probably watching right now, because I did send a message to Lucy. Hold on a second. Lucy made a comment here. She goes.
Who's Lucy? Sorry.
Lucy is. She's
the camera woman.
Camera woman. That's it. Of Tommy Robinson. They're probably out in France right now. We got eyes on them. I sent a spy behind them, so they're watching them.
Oh, you're dealing with them?
Yeah. At the moment, I got a spy there reporting to me everything, minute by minute.
Okay, all right.
Anyway,
I like the jacket you're wearing as well.
Yeah,
we're going military style. Right?
This is what we'll be wearing Sunday, inshallah. I got, inshallah. Anyway, she asked, "Is there a Mrs. Hijab?" She goes, "Is there a Mrs. Hijab?"
Whoa. Lucy. Listen, I mean, I have to say, look, I mean, first and foremost, let's be frank. I mean, Muslim men are for Muslim women. However, Islam does allow us to marry Christians and Jews, but not those who are in the party of, I would call the enemy, to be frank with you. Yeah. Anyways, look, I mean, this is, I don't know, is she trying something here? I mean,
nah,
no, what it is I think
like
this is, no, maybe, look.
I don't know.
No, let me tell you something, let me tell you what this is all about. Okay, she said this is public. Is it in a public place?
It's a Twitter, it's on Twitter.
She put it on her Twitter? Oh, okay, look. This shows, I mean, the reason why she said that is because the EDL men and those right-wing men, they're incapable of, let's say, no. I was gonna say they're incapable of keeping or having longevous relationships with people. And this is the case with Tommy Robinson himself. I made the comment, I think it was a little bit controversial, where I said about Tommy Robinson himself that, I think it was his girlfriend or his wife or something, she left him for a Muslim guy.
Yes, I heard something like that.
But I was speaking to some of the Luton lads, because some of them, they talk to me and they know about his life and stuff, and they're from his generation. And it turns out that, I don't know if it's his present wife or his ex-girlfriend or whatever. To be honest, I don't really care. But she has a tattoo. Yeah. Have you heard this as well?
Yeah, I heard about this as well.
She got a tattoo of like a Muslim guy's name on her body.
That's where all the hate's coming from.
You think so?
I think so.
It's like I said before, it's like a Freudian, like if we try and analyze this from a Freudian psychoanalytic perspective, there might be some unconscious bias going on here. It might be that these guys, these EDL guys, they don't feel like they've got the short man syndrome. They feel like they're incapable of dealing with, marital life in more than one way, and so therefore they need to attack Muslims to try and, reinforce a false masculinity. But it's interesting that Lucy's kind of
she's quite open-minded. She's not like
really.
Yeah, I'm alright. I like her. She's she treated me with respect, so I treat her back with respect. So and there's another.
But just to be clear, I mean, it couldn't work out between you and me, Lucy. No way, because we stand on two different sides of the fence.
Let me get to the Twitter question, guys.
It's not gonna work.
So let me see if I got any questions on Twitter, because I did say reply. Okay, watch it. Thanks. Fleb enforcement. He's been asking me for a while now. He's on Twitter. It's called PLEB. Pleb enforcement. Why don't you get Twitter? Why aren't you on Twitter?
Because I find it different. As you guys know, like Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which if you want inconsistency, and these things, you can do it. Or on Facebook, which is even more inconsistent. I find it difficult to do the juggling. I find it difficult to constantly update on all these things. I try and keep consistent on YouTube because I feel like consistency is key. Yeah, Instagram, I'm getting there. Okay. But Facebook, I'm still trying. I find it difficult to manage all of those kind of social media platforms.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Janaya Vanessa English, just for say hello to you. Anyway, and she's that's her there.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, hi there.
Yeah.
Is she Muslim?
No. She's didn't say Tommy Robinson.
Oh, she would
like
So look, Tommy Robinson's fat. All the Tommy Robinson ladies want me. What is going on?
No, she didn't say anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only Lucy was inquiring.
Listen, I mean, no problem. I'll tell you something, Lucy. Honestly,
does Muhammad want to clarify his statement about turning the corner into a mosque? And I quickly wanted to say, there's a video going around. He's heard the question. There's a clip, when you said you're going to use Tommy Robinson to get to a certain people, do you remember? And they're saying, and now someone made a video, I've seen on YouTube. You made a thing, we're going to, through his through Tommy Robinson's name.
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
use his name or
use his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you meant it in a certain context, which
Was there a
I
video they
understood.
made about me?
Yeah, they made a little snippet saying, "Oh, look, Mohammed Hijab,
Right.
you're gonna use Tommy Robinson to get views and subscribers and whatnot."
Yeah, okay.
What did you really mean?
I meant exactly that. I meant we're going to use him to get views and subscribers and all these things so that we can educate more
it's
people.
the reach, innit? It's the
Yeah,
reach.
about Islam. That's exactly what I mean. You're right.
It's nothing to do with just pure views and subscribers. It's the reach. Main thing is
Look,
yeah.
man, what we do, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." He said, tell the people about me, and even if it's just one verse. We're in a non-Muslim mujtama, like a non-Muslim sociological environment, and so what I try and do here is I want to educate as many people as possible about the religion of Islam. And so obviously the most potent haters of Islam and ardent critics of it are Tommy Robinson's supporters. So using his name has the advantage of getting to those people in society which would otherwise not hear the Islamic message, and so would educate them so as not to create a conflict in society that could create polarization for our future generations, which is what we're trying to stop. So yeah, in a nutshell, of course it is.
Yeah,
Yeah?
we're back on.
Alright.
Sorry guys, the connection went. Let me see what happened. Sorry guys, the connection went. Yeah, what were you saying?
Are we back on?
Yeah, we're back on. There's another good question someone asked, yeah, but as I said, I wanted to keep it to that Speaker's Corner and stuff.
Yeah.
Let me just ask a question. Guys, can you hear us? Can you just leave someone let us know? Can you hear us? Let me just... Oh yeah, it says that we're live.
Oh, okay, alright.
I think we're on still.
Yeah.
We're on. Swerve it.
Yeah, we're alive.
The Moss statement. Okay, I'll get to the Moss statement. What you
Let's
meant.
get to
Don't
the
worry.
Moss statement.
The Moss statement that you meant. Yeah. Alright. Go on. What do you mean? Because like I know what you meant. I know what you meant. So I think just clarify what you meant.
Mosque,
to be fair.
a masjid is somewhere where sujood happens.
No, not that. They're saying, you know, the comment that you made.
Yeah,
when
I'm
the police.
getting to that.
Yeah.
So sujood is prostration. Alright, so and the Prophet told us the whole world is a masjid, and he gave exceptions on it. So we're allowed to, as Muslims, pray anywhere we want, except for the exceptions like the toilet and these things, like in a graveyard or whatever. Like there are some exceptions. Obviously, if we wanted to pray anywhere, we could. What I was threatening the police of is that if they don't, which was a legal thing within my own right that I could do, that if they don't allow us to do, if they don't enforce the law equally, then we will just. We will disobey the policies.
Like if other people are disobeying it, why are you picking on?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you meant.
I was gonna
so
say,
basically, what you meant is we're gonna obey the policy, the rules, everything.
We'll obey the policy.
Be fair and
so
just.
long as the policy applies to everybody. in the park.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And quickly, I wanted to say, tell the brother side on a 3-week network. No, I'm not on 3. I'm on a thingy. Actually, I'm connected to Wi-Fi, Virgin. But anyway. Who are the 5 elders? We'll get to that question. Anyway, you might as well ask the 5 elders bit because that's.
I haven't confirmed with everyone that I can make.
Just meant generally.
Public,
yeah.
But some of them include people you know already, guys. Like some of them include, some of them you know, and they're all older than me, if you like. You know.
That's what you meant. There's no specific.
Yeah. So they're actually all older than me. So so people like Sheikh Mohammed Al-Urduni, Tarawni, he's probably seen him like arbitrate. You know, he's obviously one of the consultants there, if you like. People like Adnan Rashid, no doubt he's one of the seniors there. And people have a big contribution in terms of decision making within the Sunnis in that area. People like Mansour, no doubt he's been he will take his advice, and he's definitely been invited to the panel, and I think he's accepted it as well. People like Hashim. No doubt he's also someone who's been going to the park for many years, and he has his experience in the park, and one has access to the footage to do that. So obviously I haven't got full confirmation from all of those 5, but pretty much you could say that these 5 individuals, regardless are involved somehow, one way, shape or form. There has been one thing that's been put through to them, and there's
petition. You mean?
No, one video that's been put through, because you know there's that group of Africans came. The group
Oh,
of
who
Africans
pray,
came,
who pray the hymns and stuff together. Yeah,
they came again.
It's a form of worship.
And, they worship together collectively and stuff. So the police didn't do anything about it. But they were very fair, and they said actually this is not contravening because the police they couldn't see, they weren't right next to them in terms of proximity. So they said we didn't give it a strike. And they didn't give it a strike.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've noticed the police in general, they're fair with us. So
well, it depends on who. Like to be honest,
one or two.
This guy Jamil, I didn't like his approach. I thought his like maybe he thought because he was from an ethnic background that he could be a bit more forceful, which is not correct. But Steve, I have a good relationship with Steve, and all of the officers generally I have a good relationship with them. But it's just one or two of them will come and try and flex their muscles, and they have to know that they have limitations as well. They have to account.
One thing I must say is some of the police officers, while they're doing the duty at Speaker's Corner, they come and ask me or other people, what is this place? What is Speaker's Corner? They don't know themselves. So I think that Jamil officer personally didn't know how the Speaker's Corner, how it works.
Possibly, I don't know. But it's just one of them.
So just give him the benefit of the doubt. Really.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he has to also realise that if he's going in to try and enforce policies, he has to be well aware of what those policies are. And he was caught out, and I think he will apologise.
Yeah.
And I hope he does, though.
Yeah.
Because...
what else? Now, regarding Steve recently, I don't know if you've seen the video.
Which Steve is this?
The Speaker's Corner Steve.
Okay, not the police officer.
No. The police
I know Steve, yeah.
So what happened was, did you see that he was like the Muslim brother with the mask? Now, he told me, I asked him, bro, why are you wearing this mask? Like, you're giving Islam a bad name and all that. And, why you... He goes, look, I'm here to do I just want to do a mirror image of what Tan does. And a few others, I just want to do that. And he goes to me, look, if you don't like it, brother, you can move along. He said it in a respectful way. You can move along. It's my free speech. I'm not going to break the rules, regulations. That's it, really. I'm giving a mirror image back. Now, why are these people who, under the flag of free speech, they say we give others the right to insult others,
Okay.
So now, when the other guy is doing
it... Well, first and foremost, he's not the only person in the park to wear a mask. We've got Issa the Great.
There you go. Yeah.
Issa the Great. He wears a mask, doesn't he? And there's a lot of brothers from the G circle who wear masks a lot because they don't want to be identified. Now, we don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We don't have an issue with that.
Why are people... why are some of these... I think some of the Tommy Robinson fans or followers really going hard on this brother with the mask on, saying, like this guy, they even saying,
they doing that?
Yeah, on Twitter, they're saying that he deserved it. He deserved the punch.
Guy?
No, it's someone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
They
say stop doing that.
Yeah. So basically,
he's disturbing us.
Yeah. So basically, they're saying that he deserved the punch. They're trying to justify it. That's what. Then I thought to myself, you guys, if it was the other way around, you guys would have gone.
He deserved the punch.
Yeah. No, is that legal?
Well, whatever. Like, if that's what they're saying, then that shows the hidden bias that they have. Whatever. If you think he deserved the punch, no problem. Apply the same logic to you guys when you receive a punch. If you do receive a punch to anyone who's aggressive towards you, you won't do that because it's not something within your ability to do so. And we've seen that whenever there's aggression against certain Muslims, against certain non-Muslims, then there's this bias. And I think the right winger and that particular group of people that comment are most unfair in their comments, in my opinion. And whatever, we don't care about you guys. In a way, we don't care. Whatever you have to say, we don't care, because if you're gonna say things like that, then
those biased people, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Those far right.
Your
comments only for us. They show us to what extent, you have hate. Yeah, so we don't. If you're gonna hate us like that, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, we're not gonna show you love back.
But having said that, subhanallah, like I got this on my Instagram as well. There's this one guy that
brother Faraz Zahabi is online. Assalamu alaikum, brother Faraz.
Salam, Faraz.
Shout out to you.
There's one guy who, mashallah, like subhanallah, I put on my Instagram as well. He was a Tommy supporter. So that's one side of it. We don't care about those haters too much. But on the other hand, there are some of those haters that have sincerity. And subhanallah, you'd be surprised that on my Instagram, there's one picture I put up of one guy who actually came to the Deen, like he was a Tommy Robinson supporter. On EF Dawah, there's one guy who was a Tommy Robinson supporter that became Muslim. So we're not saying the door is closed for everyone or anyone. The door is open for anyone to understand Islam, to cooperate with the Muslims, or to be Muslim. Whatever you want to do, the door is open for you. But where you start to become very unfair in your analysis, like, and say, well, that guy deserves to get punched, or Muslims deserve to be killed, and things like that, that's when we know you're moving towards like a Nuremberg style, you know, Hitler kind of approach, which is definitely not only fascistic, but it's very similar to Nazism.
Yeah, one
And,
thing I would say as well, add to this is, you know that, what's her name, Joya Fonseca English.
I don't know that.
Basically, she has strong views against Islam.
Yeah,
But
and she is right wing.
yeah, you know, I haven't, you know, yes, I would say.
Don't promote.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Don't promote.
no, but I'm just saying, like,
Oh, she just
she
commented,
does
yeah.
not no, she doesn't deserve to get deference. Whatever views anyone has,
Yeah,
nobody, in my opinion,
We need to educate.
yeah,
We need to educate these
difference.
people. That's what we're to do.
Because she's been
No,
he's
of
getting a
course
lot of
not.
deference.
That's the thing. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to we're teachers. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to teach people. We're trying to we're educators. You get it? That's our capacity. Now, sometimes there will be a need, and that's why some people say, okay, what's the balance of being educators in a calm approach and a mild approach, and sometimes being an assertive approach and being confident sometimes, and sometimes you need both. You know, as Muslim, we're a minority in this country, and if we don't exhibit abilities to be calm in the right times, but also confident at the right times, then we won't make it. So we have to understand that there is that balance, and that's what Umar ibn Khattab, he said beautifully when one of the Sahaba asked him what character traits you need to be a leader. He says, "La yahmilu hadha al-amr," that no one will be able to be a leader. Yeah, and all of us Muslims, yeah, we're ambassadors in one way or another to our community, to our respective communities. He said, "La yahmilu hadha al-amr illa al-layyin fi ghayri da'fin." He said that no one will be able to handle this except for the lenient one in other than weakness. وَالْقَوِيُّ فِي غَيْرِ عُنْفٍ, and the one who's strong in other than aggression. So in other words, be strong, but don't be aggressive. Don't be over assertive, that becomes aggression. And then he also said, وَالْجَوَادْ فِي غَيْرِ إِسْرَافٍ. He said the one who is generous, but he's not extravagant. You're not throwing your money away. وَالْمُمْسِكْ فِي غَيْرِ بُخْلٍ. He said also the one who holds back in other than being stingy. And these 4 pieces of advice is the piece of advice that I give or I narrate to all of you guys, because we sometimes don't know how to act. So sometimes it's over assertive and sometimes it's too weak, and both of those approaches, I believe, are failed approaches, and we need to find our own individual balances.
Yeah, and let's go to Tan now quickly. Obviously you must have heard.
I've heard of he's deported or something.
Well, I think he's visa
Where
right
is
now. I heard he's in France,
Okay.
and now he's been stopped. And Tommy Robinson's gone down there. You know, to get add some chili powder to the fire. You know, like fuel to the fire, and you
You
know,
have to say chili powder. as an
chili
Asian- as an
powder.
Asian.
Yeah.
Go on.
So yeah, he's just obviously you will be seeing that, and I can guarantee the leading questions he's going to ask. And what's the point of that interview anyway? Obviously, that's up to him.
It's
But
ironic in my opinion, because obviously, if it's a matter of visa expiration, yeah, then that's exactly what Tommy Robinson and his people were campaigning against, as immigrants and asylum seekers. But if the immigrant happens to be an anti-Muslim immigrant, what, should we grant them a visa now? Should we extend their visa? That's what kind of logic is that, anyways? It's if he's unhappy with the fact that this guy Tan his visa has run out and he's not allowed back into the country, isn't that a bit of an irony? Since he was part of the EDO, he was a supporter of the BNP. He's a right-wing guy, so obviously one of the main policies in terms of right-wing policies that glaringly looks at all of us is the idea that immigration is too high. So what, you want an illegal, someone whose visa has expired, to continue to live in the United Kingdom just because they're anti-Islam? How does that even make any sense? It shows you that this individual is desperate to make alliances, and the same alliance he made with this guy Sarah and Kalam and them lot, who on the record are black supremacists, and we put this on our channels to show the ignorance and the irony of the approach that he's using. So he would ally himself with a people who are clearly, openly, like completely against white supremacy, let alone like right-wing supremacy, only to advance his cause. So he's allying himself with illegal immigrants in his own mind, and also with people that are anti-white, just because he finds it. Just shows you that he's clutching at straws, and that the right-wing movement is really a weak movement. It's a weak movement, I believe. It's not really. It's becoming, the ultra right is becoming outdated, and he knew that campaigning against immigration wasn't winning the battle anymore, especially with Brexit and stuff. They had to change their approach. Their policy advisors were telling them, look, change your approach, make it against Islam, because there's a growing movement already of Islamophobia. So he might as well join that, because that old approach wasn't working. And look for example when he went on what do you call it, the countdown show, how the audience was almost consensuously, whatever it was, he consensually or unanimously against him. You know, they were completely against him. Like he doesn't fit the bill in terms. So that kind of movement, he's emblematic of it, and he's symbolic of it. And the British public, if you ask 10 people on a normal London road, London, by the way, the city that he literally was saying that it's not an English city no more, or something to that extent, or what, he was disgracing it because it's multicultural. He didn't want to say it like that, but that's what he meant in a video he recently made. If you ask 10 people that know who he is, or 20 people that know who he is, 100 people that know who he is, I promise you the majority of those people will find his views repugnant. The vast majority of those people will find him repugnant, him as a person.
Some has embraced Islam.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So, you know, so I believe that his movement, he's a spokesperson for the bigots in this country. So whoever wants to join the club of bigots can support him, no problem.
Yeah, and another thing I've noticed, this new trend going is like Steve and a few others, they try to put pressure on the police. Obviously they succeeded in a way in the Salah thing, but no problem. You know what?
What did they say? What are these guys saying about the Salah?
You know, saying like, look, officers, you know, enforce the policy.
Is that what they're saying?
You know, things like that. You know,
for me, that's a hypocrisy in and of itself. Because if there was a policy telling, if that's what they're saying, seriously, they're hypocrites. All of them are hypocrites, in my opinion. Innit? Because if there was a policy, just because it's a policy, it doesn't make it morally correct. There's a difference between legalism and truism. Yeah, so if they're trying to say that, okay, enforce the policy, well, the whole reason why the whole, like, what would you call it? All the congregation, if you like, yeah, of Tommy's fans came that day was to actually, oppose laws and injunctions from the government. Yeah. So just because something is policy or law, or just because something is governmental, it doesn't mean that we don't have the right to oppose it in a legal way. That's why all of Tommy's fans came for free speech, because of Martin Selner, whatever. Yeah. So if you're telling me there's a policy that was in the park that was against something that you like to do, like for example, attack Islam or say certain things about Islam, you'd be telling the police, or you'd be telling the government, you'd be protesting, you'd be active in telling people to change the policy. But when it comes to Muslims, yeah, making the same kind of gesture, you don't like it, which makes me feel like, okay, these guys are actually morally and philosophically inconsistent. They're ideologically inconsistent, and that is the biggest slap in the face of all. You get it? They are ideologically inconsistent. And you know, Voltaire, which is one of the people, like he himself was Islamophobe, but he came back from it. It was one of the philosophers of the Enlightenment period. Yeah, he said that you don't really believe in. I might not agree with what you say, but I will defend your right to say it. Yeah. So, and Chomsky said something very similar. He said that you only truly believe in freedom of speech when you defend it for the people you despise the most, or something to that extent. So, and I heard Tommy say something similar. So, the right-wing movement is all over the place ideologically. They don't have any foundation or premise that they're moving from. If they really felt like freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and these freedoms, yeah, that they're afforded, are in fact important freedoms in the Speaker's Corner environment, then they should have been before us in telling the police. Yeah. They should have been coming out and telling the police that policy is against freedom of expression. Yeah. They should have been the first to say that.
There you go.
If the issue was a group of people congregating in numbers, then Tommy was probably responsible for that to the highest level possible.
He's the one who blocked.
Yeah, he was responsible for the highest level of people coming, probably the last 2-3 years.
And not only that, one of his followers, because Tommy was speaking, stopped free speech. What he did, that what's his name? I forgot his name. You know, he's an old timer. He goes to Speaker's Corner. They dragged him off.
What we should be seeing from these guys? Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. And
so he stopped free speech, and he's talking about free speech.
If they really believe in what they say they believe in, they have to come before me. Okay, they believe in freedom of speech supposedly more than I do, and they should do. Yeah, because we believe in a higher level of censorship, if you like, and every civilization has like censorship of its free speech. Plagiarism is not allowed. Defamation is not allowed. There's certain things.
Insulting is not allowed. Mocking is not in a sort of degree. Yeah?
No, that's not right. We're talking about from a philosophical level, yeah, of freedom of speech. In any civilized, like democratic country, you have things like plagiarism is not allowed. Defamation of character is not allowed. There's certain things that are not allowed. Do you get it? But apart from that, you can insult, you can mock, so long as it's to the quest of truth or whatever, you try and find truth. Now here, because it's the harm principle in action, the same thing applies now, freedom of expression. The same thing applies now with the prayer. So if people are praying and it doesn't harm anyone, then from a freedom of expression point of view, there's no reason to stop it, whether it be in the road parks or anywhere else. So they should be, if they truly believe in freedom of speech, they should believe it for every individual. Now we're testing you guys. Now you're being tested. Do you know why? Because you said you believe in it for everyone. But when it comes to doing it, you're not enforcing it or advocating it for everyone, and that shows the fascistic guys. Sorry, the democratic guys or the freedom of speech guys that you put on, but the fascistic center that you actually have. You are fascists, basically, British national fascists who are pretending to be liberationists, but you're not. Do you get it? So if you truly were, you wouldn't have these kind of policies, discriminatory policy, or you wouldn't comment like that. You would be the first. You'd be the first
to defend it.
To defend, you know, our rights to do these things. Moreover, one more thing. I didn't know this, but I saw something of Tommy Robinson talking about we shouldn't build masjids, any more mosques in the UK. Tell me, is that policy more in line with fascism or liberalism? Tell me. I mean, things like that, it doesn't make sense in my mind. I mean, how can he think that he is defending free speech and free expression, but at the same time you know, masjids or mosques, places of worship, should not be built in a country which is supposedly democratic. So these people, in my opinion, they're walking contradictions. They actually are walking contradictions. They are walking contradictions. So that's, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's done. Yeah. So yeah, just like I said, again, this is a new tactic they're using. To put pressure on the police to get their way.
Exactly.
And so,
yeah.
So just be alert. I hope the police they're not silly, man. They know what's going on, you know.
Just to force the law. Do your job. That's what you gotta do. You don't have to forget. You don't have to get involved in the politics.
They do a fantastic job, and like, you know, it's like when he got attacked, that masked guy, Steve was saying you know, calling the victim the aggressor, the criminal, and calling the...
I don't know what he said, so I can't comment on exactly what he said, or I haven't seen that thing, so I don't want to make it...
Yeah, I'll show you the video after. You can show me, yeah. But like I said, anyway, have you seen they're all together? I think Raj, Tommy Robinson. No, they're all doing a video. I've seen it on Facebook on Tommy's page. Yeah, they're making a video. Raj, Steve, all of them. Anyway, like I said, he says, "Oh, I'm not Tommy's fan, or I agree with some of the things he says." But they're all one, you know. They're all together, and you know, we don't care anyway.
It doesn't strengthen you to have someone to have you guys together. It's not like an intellectual accumulation, in my opinion. What are you guys qualified with anyways? Where have you guys gone to study? What have you guys done? What have all of you guys in terms of credentials or academic achievements or intellectual prowess? What do you guys have? I mean, coming together is not going to help you. Just because I don't think it's going to help you. It makes you more dumb, actually. because you're going to be bouncing back false ideas, and some of you will be convinced by it.
Yeah, and just wanted to say, so there's going to be new towns coming down.
No problem.
In the future. So I just wanted to say, advise the Muslim brothers, why do they go and feed them by gathering around them?
They shouldn't.
What's all that about? It really winds me out.
The guy might be
mentally affected.
Psychologically.
And what the Muslims, some of the Muslims who go there, and if there's a big crowd, all right, maybe in a crowd there's 20 people, maybe at the 20 maybe 15 Muslims, for example. 5 could be non-Muslims, but as soon as they see a crowd, they say it's all Muslims. But anyway,
it's haram. It's haram to listen to these people talk about Islam if you're a Muslim and insult it, and knowing you can't do anything about it. Just walk away from it.
We should avoid them.
And also at the same time, it's haram.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
The Quran says, إذا سمعتم آيات الله يكفر بها ويستهزأ بها فلا تقعدوا معهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره. That if you hear that Allah's ayat being disbelieved and being mocked, they don't sit with them, i.e. those disbelievers who are mocking it, until they talk about something else. So unless they talk about something else, then you can't be sitting with them. And the Quran continues and says, you would be like them otherwise. So you sitting there, actually, you're acculturating yourself. You're acclimatizing to that discussion. And you know what? You're going to become desensitized. You're going to find it funny at some points because these people are clowns.
Yeah. Even with Steve and people like that, I say, let them do whatever they want to do. We don't need to react.
Steve is not the same as Tan. Like we can't put them on the same box.
But it doesn't mean we disrespect him.
We don't disrespect anyone. The Quran tells us very clearly. You know, Surah Al-An'am, in verse 108, it says, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدَعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. It says, for don't mock the gods of those who don't believe. فَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدَعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. For those who do not curse the gods of those individuals who worship other than one God, so that they may not curse your God. The Quran says that it's haram for me to go into Speaker's Corner and start cursing Guru Nanak, or to start cursing Ganesh, or to start cursing any of those what we would consider like false deities. It's haram, because now if the Hindu comes back at me and says, you know what, you're saying this about Ganesh and Vishnu and this and that, then you know what, your Allah is this and your Allah is that. So the Quran puts a prohibition for us as Muslims. So this is for us as Muslims, I'm making it clear, for Muslims, we're not allowed to mock other religions like that. We're not allowed. Islamically, it's haram. The Quran says it. And the illah is so that the reasoning is so that they don't attack you, because they will be in their right to. And then they'll become desensitized to attacking your religion. So our character should never degenerate. And so we should never attack them in that way. Don't attack their religion in that way. You know, we have to show that respect. The Quran tells us to show that respect. The Quran tells us. The Quran says, فَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدَعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. They will do not curse their gods, because then they will curse your God. You get it? Without any knowledge. You know? And the Quran is very specific in this. So we have to be careful.
Yeah, and well, so we literally covered everything. About the Salah thing, let's just advise the brothers, that some of the brothers who last week, what happened, obviously he wasn't there last week, was he?
I was there.
Oh, he was there, but he wasn't around that time. What happened was, I'm not mentioning no names or whatever. You know, out of defiance, just 2 or 3, out of defiance,
Yeah, no, if there's some 2 or 3, then that's a collective.
Yeah, so let me just quickly say that. Out of defiance, in my opinion, apart defiance, obviously they want to pray Salah, I'm not doubting their Salah and stuff. Went there and just prayed, right where they, in front of, in someone's face, like we've been told not to pray. So I
wasn't there to see that. If I was, I would have told
me and Ali saw that. We tried speaking to the brothers, but they're going all coming out with this and that, the other.
The brothers have got to learn.
If you want to pray in Jama'ah, nobody's saying you can't. Use your initiative, use your hikmah, man, use your brain. You can go further up and pray Salah. If you want to do Jama'ah, don't do it in front of the police.
What's the point of a Jama'ah? One of the objectives of Jama'ah is to unite Muslims in one place and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since now we have with one policy, one unified policy, by you doing a Jama'ah, the irony is you're breaking the Jama'ah. You're actually breaking the Muslim unity. So it's like, if you are sincere, then you can't be doing stuff like that, because we have decided thoughtfully, not to attack, not to go against the policy like that, because there's no benefit in it for us. But at the same, so we're trying to play it in the middle, because we know that there's going to be Muslims that are going to be protesting. But at the same time, Muslims have got to understand that if you're doing a Jama'ah, then you're doing that of your own volition. The police have also got to know that we can't control everyone.
I need to answer this question, bro. It says, doesn't your Quran, it's from Aaron Steele, or Steele, doesn't your Quran tell you to kill gays, abuse women, and kill non-believers? Sounds like a greatest casual read.
Well, let me see where it says that.
Keep it short and stuff. Show us evidence where it says that.
Where does it say kill gays and this and that? It doesn't say that, actually. The Quran does not say that.
I think this person knows himself.
It's an academic. So if he's made that comment very clearly, that means he hasn't read it. So I would, for Alan, or Aaron, or whatever his name
Aaron
is.
Steele,
Aaron, go read the Quran, brother.
Just read it, Why are you...
Go read it. You're asking me what it says. Why don't you go and open the book and find out what it says?
We're telling you directly, it does not say that.
Read it, brother. Check it from chapter 50 onwards. I would recommend, or you can check it from chapter 1 onwards, whatever you want. Check it. See the Quran for yourself. Don't make, come on, man. You're old enough. You're old enough to be on making comments and stuff like that. Read the book. It's not that draining to read a book. It's a book that the quarter of the world's population believe in. It's going to be a third very soon. You don't want to see what it says. At least read parts of it. You clearly have not read the Quran, if you believe it says this.
Yeah, and to the guys that there's a lot of questions coming in. I'm trying to, because we're in a bit on a time time plan at the moment. So we're going to be doing regular, like 2 or 3 of these a month, inshallah. So
We'll try. I'm not promising anything, though.
yeah, but we'll try. That's the plan, inshallah. We'll try to do it in a nice way, you know. At the moment, this is just random. It's like, brother Hijab didn't even know. I planned this yesterday night while I went on live. Just, you know, I was bored and I just said, look, I'm gonna do a Q&A with you. So,
no problem.
So it looks like what we covered the salah. Oh yeah, the
We've got,
advice.
5 minutes left.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, so 5 more minutes, guys. So if you guys have any serious questions you're gonna ask,
Well, if we make it 3 minutes, because
okay, 3 minutes. Yeah. So we got 3 minutes, Akhi, to pray Maghrib. So if you have any serious questions. And please, at Hyde Park, please, if you want to pray in Jama'ah, don't need to rub it in their faces. Go further up somewhere and you can pray your Jama'ah, no problem. But why antagonize it? You know, this is what they want. This is what they want. They want to show the whole world, look, these Muslims want special, you know, like special treatment. That's what they're going to use this. And unfortunately, Islam gets all the blame. If I act in a bad way, Islam gets the blame. I just don't get that, you know. So, because this is happening, Muslims need to be aware, you know, that look, no matter how, if we go on a mountaintop and tell people why are you blaming Islam for, unfortunately, this is what it's going to happen. This way.
I mean, this is the unfair nature of the ultra right that they'll continue doing that.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, Tommy Robinson is going to come down. On the 6th, I think.
I don't think he's going to stay for long. I don't think he wants to. He wouldn't want to. The thing is, he's been advised not to discuss things with people like me and others. He's been advised. Police, he's been advised not to. He's been advised specifically not to talk to certain people. You know, even Ali. Like, I don't think he was prepared for that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So all he had to do is act like a bit of a clown in front of the camera. But do you get it? I mean,
anyway, I'm going to do one with Ali as well, with one of these ones, Q&A type of things. And lastly, I was going to say regarding Tommy thing. Yeah, I'll end on this actually. Have you noticed, after when Tommy came to Speaker's Corner with all these thugs and whatever,
I think
have you seen what happened to the atmosphere? It's all gone like aggressive. Before that, it wasn't really that bad. I know it was going to a tipping point. It never actually crossed over. But now, actually, people are getting violent.
On the other hand as well, we're getting a lot of people coming in that we never had access to before. So, once again, Tommy's doing us a favor because a lot of people know about what we're doing now because of him.
Allah is the best of planners.
Oh yeah. You know? So come again, Tommy, because what you're doing is you're spreading Islam.
Yeah, and come and have a chat with us, you know. And
you're spreading Islam, brother.
Yeah, come and have a chat with us, and let's see where it goes, you know. And defending.
No, chat with us. I don't want to chat with the guy. With Tommy Robinson, no way. I wouldn't want to chat with him. If I saw him, it would be a straight debate.
Okay,
I wouldn't even debate.
I
wouldn't even want to talk to him. Actually, I wouldn't even want to debate him. To be honest with you, he's not someone I want to even see, in my opinion. He's got nothing.
Nobody's saying we own Speaker's Corner. Ready, okay, and we don't, you know, we don't own just because our numbers are a bit more, it doesn't mean we own it.
Well, whatever,
you know?
man. If
a lot of tourists come there, you know, you know what it is, you know, Arab area, it's an Arab area, a lot Edgware Road, those and they cut past. That's why there's a lot of, you know, nobody's stopping non-Muslims to come Speaker's Corner.
Whatever, man. These people that are saying that stuff are just angry that they're the immigrants in the country.
You know, so yeah.
That's what they're angry with.
Anyway, it's getting Maghrib time, guys. So next time, we'll plan it a bit you know, like properly, and we'll do it on a fixed time or something like that, rather than give anyone time. So anyway, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum, and subscribe, like and share on the new channel, and yeah, take care. Assalamu alaikum.